Okay, as promised, I wanted to show you guys a little bit more detail on the DCC install on this Broadway Limited Stealth Q2. Um, Probably the only issue, and it's probably really a non-issue that I have is, let's see if we can get this to focus. Let's zoom out a little bit. That way it's, yeah, there we go. So you see how the board is at an angle, and that's because underneath, well, we didn't want that to happen, but anyway, underneath the board, can we see it on this side even? We've got some circuitry from Soundtraxx on the bottom here that really doesn't give it enough clearance. And I think that's because Broadway Limited, focus camera, their 21 pin is super short. Shorter than any I've ever seen. I don't know that I've had this issue on any locomotive that I've ever installed a 21 pin on. And I exclusively use Soundtraxx, so, I mean, I would notice that, right? So basically that little riser board, or the 21 pin board that's on the PC board here. Wow, if I could just get that to focus. There we go. The 21 pin that's on the PC board here is just short. Let me see if I can find a sample of what I consider normal. Hold on. Okay, so here's an example of what I'm talking about. I popped the 21 pin off, and you can see the pins. I mean, at first glance, they look good until you compare them to, here's a Nix Trains decoder buddy. I mean, so you can see if I was to install this 21 pin decoder on this Nix Trains, I wouldn't have any issue. Okay, here's a better view of the Broadway Limited PC board. Looks good. Those pins need to be a little longer though. That's my only complaint. And as you remember, when I put the decoder on here, it was kind of angled, what, down? No, it was angled up because the circuitry on the bottom of the decoder was touching this board. And to get these to engage, I had to push this way down, which made this end of the decoder stick way up. It's kind of teeter-tottering on that. But if you look at a Nix Trains decoder buddy, the pins are so long that I can easily put it on here with nothing touching, and the boards are both horizontal to each other, and the pins are actually sticking through. See that? This is the way it should be, and this is the way it almost always is on all models with a 21 pin board. So I don't know. I'm going to send an email to Nick at Nix Trains and ask him if there's an extension that I can use. I've got plenty of room here. I would just rather this 21 pin sit more level, you know, instead of being forced wonky in there. I don't know. You'll see. Here, let me put it back on. So once again, for reference, BLI pins, what I consider normal pins. So if I do this, you can see how much taller they actually are. See that gap on this end, on the far right? That's how much taller the Nix decoder buddy pins are. And probably the way they should be. I'm not saying it has to be that way, but to get a good engagement, I've got to push this down pretty far. And you see how it kicks this end up because the circuitry on the bottom is touching the PC board. It's probably okay. I'm just being, you know, meticulous and probably oversensitive about it. Anyway, let's put the piece of tape back on. There's a piece of tape. Let's see, it's right here. It goes across here, probably not needed, but I'm going to put it on anyway. And we'll put the shell back on. And I think I showed you in the previous video, the shell has screws at each corner that secure it to the main chassis. And here's your 4 holes for securing the shell to the chassis. 1 at each corner. Okay, playing around with the settings here. I wanted to try to get a view of the firewall if possible with the light on. I don't know. I think that's about all there is to see. Probably should put a guy in the doghouse, huh? Anyway, working on the lighting here, as you can see, if I start moving forward, the lights in the cab, let's turn this light off. The lights in the cab should go out. Yep, and it moves forward, and the headlight is on. And the running lights are on the back. And then we'll back up. Doghouse and cab lights momentarily come on. And if I stop, they come back. A little more view inside the cab there. Alright, let's see if we can find the right whistle, because I don't know. That's not going to cut it. Okay, based on what I can find on basically YouTube and other audio files, I think this is about as close as I can get to the actual whistle. And the bell. I think I'm going to keep the big boy chuff. It sounds pretty good, in my opinion. Got the acceleration and deceleration set up so that there's, the locomotive comes to a halt slower or accelerates slower. Have both sets of lights, cab and doghouse. They turn off when I start moving. Turn back on when I stop. And the running lights are turned on and off with the headlight as well as the doghouse and cab. Kill the power again, you can watch that. They fade off slowly like a dynamo would, and they start up slowly like a dynamo would supply power, steam power generator basically. So yeah, I think that about does it for making my final adjustments to make this guy sound and look a little more authentic. And let's see, what did I end up using? Let's go back to sounds. Let's mute the locomotive so you can hear me. And so, settings I ended up with, we can look at them real quick here. And then engine exhaust control ended up being about 82 to get 4 double chuffs per revolution. So exhaust was heavy, big boy, 4014, medium slip rate. Has articulated exhaust chuff. I should probably change that because this is not an articulated locomotive, but I wonder if they're using that in place of like having dual sets of cylinders, right? I don't know. 3 cylinders disabled, big boy dynamo, replica 6-chime long bell. Let's see, short whistle there for F3. Air rung heavy brass, big boy air pump, medium coupler. This guy is set up on oil. I need to change that to coal. And a power reverser, I'm assuming. So yeah, let's unmute, go through the sounds one more time. The long whistle. And then short. Then the bell. And dynamo. Just shut it off. Fire it up. Let's change the coal stoker. Although I'm not sure this had a stoker or if it was hand fed. I'm guessing it had a stoker because I believe this is one of the last steam engines built for PRR. So, I mean, it should have modern things, right? Let's write that change, see what that sounds like. So we've changed from oil fed to coker, or coal stoker. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, that's all the sounds and all the lighting functions that I've set up. I showed the 21 pin install at the beginning of the video, and it's pretty simple. 4 screws, 21 pin decoder installed in place of the dummy. You have to take the dummy out, which is this guy right here. It looks like a short 21 pin. Take this off, put your 21 pin in, button it back up, set all your lighting the way you want it, and sounds, and away you go. Anyway, I hope this helps for anyone who might have had questions on the first video. You guys take it easy and have a great Christmas.